I'm Ben Gonzalez, and this is TDI. Well, if you're planning to be a homeowner or maybe considering a move, insurance should be part of what you consider in that new home. And it's not just your home insurance and your flood insurance. Today we're talking about title insurance. And joining us is David Muckerheide from our Property and Casualty Division to tell us a little bit about title.
Yeah, thanks, Ben.
Thanks for being here today.
You're welcome.
So let's start with the basics. What is title insurance?
It's what it sounds like. It's a type of insurance that's going to help protect you if you have problems with the title to your property.
Now, usually people encounter this when they're maybe buying their first home. Is title insurance required for every kind of real estate transaction?
It's not legally required for most transactions, but as a practical matter, if you're borrowing money, you're going to end up buying your lender a title insurance policy because they need it to help protect their loan. But you're also going to, it's a good thing. It's a good thing to have title insurance. It is going to help uncover possible problems with your property before that transaction closes. That's the idea, is to get that stuff sorted out so that when you take ownership of the property, you are worry-free. And then you also have the insurance policy protecting you if something unknown comes up or something that was missed.
So David, what kind of things is the title company looking for when they do their research?
Right, yeah, so they'll do research. They'll go looking for things like, is there a bad deed somewhere in the deed record? You know, the person selling you the property, do they actually have the ownership that they need to have to sell to you? And they'll look for things like, is there a past loan maybe that's back there that needs to be resolved? Was it paid off? They'll look for things like property taxes. Are the property taxes paid up to date, so to speak? And maybe there even is a situation where a prior owner had an heir or a spouse, maybe a divorce situation, and they're just going to go back and make sure that the title follows through and tracks through the way it needs to.
So that's anybody that had a claim on that property before you.
That's the idea, is to go back and look through those records, those deed records and court records, and make sure that the title you're getting is what you think you're getting.
So are you paying for that research, or are you paying in case something gets missed and comes back to bite you later?
It's both. It's both. But the bulk of what you're paying for is really the research and the work to find the problems and to help sort them out. But you're also paying part of that title insurance premium you pay is covering that risk that there was something that was unknown or there was something that was missed, and protect you down the road.
Okay. And there's a couple of different types of policies that are involved when you buy a home, correct?
Right. There's two key types of policies. One is a loan policy. That's what's going to protect your lender. And again, if you're borrowing money, you're going to be buying your lender a loan policy, almost certainly. There's also an owner policy of title insurance. That's what's going to protect you, and that's a good thing to have, as we said. The good news is most people, when they buy a home, it's going to be in that sale contract to buy the home that the seller will actually provide an owner policy of title insurance to you. So they'll be the ones buying that for you in most cases. And that makes sense, right? That's part of, they're going to sell you the home. They want to make sure that, that you're protected, what you're buying. It's only fair.
Now, I've bought a home, but I don't remember buying title insurance. Where do you get title insurance from?
Right. If you bought a home, then you probably remember signing a bunch of documents and that special day of closing. Right. Those offices were probably the offices of a title insurance company. So you'd buy your title insurance from a title company. They're actually technically called title insurance agents. We license them, and then the insurance policy is actually backed up by a title insurance company. But if you go to a title company, that's where you'll get your title insurance policy.
Those are insurance agents then, so they are licensed by TDI?
Yes, they are, right.
So that's one thing you can look for, because a lot of times when we tell people about different types of insurance, we're telling them to get the best deal, you need to shop and compare like policies, but that's a little different for title, correct?
It's a little bit different. Most of the time there's a lot of interest in shopping based on price, right? But when it comes to title insurance rates are actually set by the Texas Department of Insurance. They apply to everyone out there. So the rate that you're paying for the title insurance is not going to vary from one place to the next. So you can shop instead based on service. You can be looking at things, make sure they're licensed, are there complaints, Just is this title company known for doing a good job, being timely and that sort of thing. There are also some additional charges that that title insurance or that title company will charge you at closing for handling your closing. The biggest one you'll see is called escrow fees. That can vary from place to place, but the main thing that you're paying them is the title insurance premium, and that is based on title insurance rates that are the same for everyone.
So David, that kind of covers the price of title insurance, or at least the rates that will be consistent among different agencies. The other thing we tell people when they're shopping for insurance is about renewal time, but again, there's not a renewal for title, correct?
No, that's right. There's not a renewal. You buy the policy one time and it goes on with you. It's going to protect you. It's going to protect even your heirs. If you hold on to the property and then you pass on, it would go to your heirs. They'd have some protection from that policy. It can even give you some protection when you sell that property someday. The promises that you make about your title to the property when you do that sale, that title insurance policy that you have, that owner policy, is going to protect you. So
that's a confirmation that you have as the seller then too.
Absolutely. So it's a great thing to have. And one thing that it occurs to me that sometimes is good to keep in mind, if you are going to buy an owner policy, I like to tell people, hey, consider making sure that you have boundary coverage, right? That's something that's kind of gets overlooked. It's not automatically going to be added to a policy, but it can protect you if, say, there's a dispute with maybe a neighbor as to where that boundary line falls. So that'd be a good thing to think about.
So and that's the extent of the property's dimensions and so on?
Right, absolutely. You get a survey done and then you're able to go ahead and get protection for those boundary lines.
Well, thanks, David. I really appreciate that, and I think we all learned a little bit something about title insurance. If you have questions that we didn't cover, or maybe a question about another type of insurance, you can always reach us on our website. It's tdi.texas.gov, or you can call our helpline at 800-252-3439. So for David Muckerheide, I'm Ben Gonzalez, and this is TDI.